If you're a big fan of the 2015 and newer style Mustang headlights and want to achieve a similar look for your 05 to 09 V6 or GT, well then you should definitely consider checking out the Raxiom DRL projectors that we have here. Now the Raxiom headlights will combine that projector style headlight along with the signature S550 tri-bar LED running lights, all packaged in a very cool black housing for that high $300 price point. Installation will involve some very light wiring thanks to those DRLs, so therefore the site is going to knock things up to a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, maybe an hour or so to complete from start to finish, as we'll show you guys later in the video. So these headlights are going to be for those early S197 owners out there who prefer more of that modern styling and just really dig some of the basic ingredients that the 2015 and newer Mustang headlights offer from a feature standpoint. Now first and foremost, the Raxioms here will convert that standard reflector style housing to a slightly more modern projector, giving you a brighter, more focused beam of light, which will ultimately help provide you with some better nighttime visibility. But without a doubt, the biggest draw or appeal here with these Raxioms will be the tri-bar DRL or daytime running lights, which are a dead ringer for the ones found on the early S550s. Now these lights do feature a more modern diffused LED lighting, and once wired up will illuminate whenever your parking lights or your headlights have been switched on. Now if you wanted these things to act like a true daytime running light and you're handy with wiring and relays, well guess what? One of our customers has actually included a detailed write-up on the product page on how to make these things illuminate whenever your car is keyed on. But getting back to the Raxioms here again, both the projector and those DRLs have been housed in the ABS plastic housing here, black of course, and then topped off with the crystal clear polycarbonate lens. And that's a combo I really like because it's going to deliver the dark, aggressive look of a smoke light, but without really affecting the total light output. Now the Raxioms are sold in sets of 2, of course, for that mid to high $300 price point, and do also include, by the way, brand new dual element H7 bulbs for both your high and low beam operation. Now the headlights are also adjustable thanks to the aiming screw on the back, and have been DOT and SAE approved for use in all 50 states. But now comes the time in the video where I stop yapping and we get into our detailed walkthrough as promised, show you what you're in for in the garage or driveway, along with giving you a quick tool breakdown. Check it out.
Tools used for this install are a ratchet, 10mm socket, 5.5mm socket, Phillips head screwdriver, clip and panel removal tool, wire strippers and crimpers. So for this install, we're going to have to pop off our upper radiator cover and our front bumper. It's a pretty simple process. I'm going to walk you through it, so let's get started. I'm going to start by using my clip panel tool to remove the 6 push pins that hold the upper rad cover in. Then I'll pull the pins out and pull the rad cover off. Next, I'm going to take a 10mm socket on my ratchet and remove the 2 bolts on either side of the front bumper at the top. Next, I'm going to use a Phillips head to remove the 3 screws in the inner wheel well liner to gain access to the 2 nuts that are behind the wheel well liner, and I'm going to do this on both sides. With my wheel liner pulled back out of the way, I have access to the 2 10mm nuts here on the inside of the bumper. So I'm going to take my 10mm socket on my ratchet and remove those. And now I can do the same exact thing on the other side. So we're just about ready to pull our front bumper off, but before we can do this, there's still a couple screws on the bottom, and there are some lights on either side of the bumper that need to be removed. There's 2 light sockets on either corner. I'm just going to twist them out and remove them from the bumper, and then I can pull my bumper off. and now I'll just do the same thing on the other side. So now I'm just gonna use a 5.5mm socket and remove the 4 screws at the bottom of the bumper. So now I'm ready to pull my bumper away from my vehicle. While I do so, I'm going to unhook my 2 fog lights as I'm pulling everything out. Next, I'm just going to use my 10mm socket again to remove the 3 bolts that hold the headlight into place, and then I will disconnect the headlight connector from the back. There's one at the top and there's 2 at the bottom. So our headlight is going to mount up exactly the same way as stock. I'm just going to plug the connection together until it clicks into place, and then the mounting locations are all the same. Now you can see I left our LED strips wires hanging down here, and I'll show you what we did for those in just a minute. Then I'll just take my 10mm socket and tighten down the hardware. So the LED running strips on these headlights can really be wired up any way that you want. You can run them to any power and ground source that you think is going to be best for your needs. Us, on the other hand, what we did here is we tapped into our marker light here on the corner. And pretty much what we did was we added a pigtail off of our power and ground with a female spade connector. So what I'll do is add a small spade to our power and ground wire that'll connect into these power and ground wires here on our marker light. And that way we can switch it on and off from inside the driver's compartment. So like I said before, we're going to be wiring our running strips into our corner marker light. So I'm just going to strip the wires back and add some spade connectors. However, there are vampire clips that are included in the kit if you want to just tap into the wires using those. So once you have all your connections made, make sure you test your system to make sure everything lights up the way that you want it to, and then you can repeat the entire process on the other side of the vehicle and then reinstall your bumper. All right, now we are ready to reinstall our front bumper, and pretty much going to be the opposite of the removal process. I'm just going to make sure that I reconnect my fog lights here in the middle and twist them into place before I sit the bumper fully down. So now we can reinstall our turn signal bulb, our corner light, and our inner wheel well liner hardware. And also we can install our 2 corner bolts or corner nuts for the bumper. I'll tighten those down with my 10mm socket. Now we can move on to the other side. Now we can reinstall the 4 small screws at the bottom of the bumper that go to the lower splash shield. Next, we can install our upper radiator cover, the 6 push clips, and then we can install the 2 upper bumper bolts and tighten them down with a 10mm socket. And that's going to wrap up this review and install of the Raxiom DRL Black Projector Headlights fitting your 2005 to 2009 Mustang. Thanks for watching, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.